What's up, folks? It's Jang here from ultimaterc.com, and I am here in this video specifically to let you know that this kit is quote-unquote not RTR. A little bit of a public service message there for you, so in case you didn't know, now you know, because the sticker on the box is not necessarily clear about that. This box contains the OFNA DM-One Spec-E 1/8 scale on-road car. And other than just this little sticker on here, there's really not much to the box. You got a little sticker in this corner too, look at that, yay! And that very interesting thing there, that feels like that should be a meme or something, I don't know. But let me go ahead and get this box open and let you see what's actually inside. Well, that didn't go quite as expected. There are a lot more just open, or not open, but just unsettled parts in this bag than I expected. I thought that it was pretty much all assembled, just needed electronics, but not quite the case. So first off, a bag of wheels, and here's a bag of tires. And these have open cell foams that you will have to, looks like, probably cut yourself and glue up yourself. This appears to be a bag full of body mounting parts. Does look to be the case. Stuff that's in here, there are some body details. Those look like side mirrors. Look like some upper bumper supports. Don't know what some of these things are. Definitely have some battery tray and radio tray stuff here, some hardware, some tools, servo horns, looks like some more body mounting stuff. This is actually a handle for the box, which does not come pre-installed on the box. So if you want to be a really good customer and actually, you know, assemble this onto that nondescript cardboard box with a couple stickers on it, you can. And it's great that they actually include this in the kit, because that's very important. You know, that after you've already brought the box home, that cardboard box, now you will actually be able to put a proper handle on it. So very great inclusion that they put there, even though the box is pretty much useless now, because the car is not going to fit in it anymore. But stickers and somebody else's hair, okay. Plenty of stickers that go with the included body. I'll show you the body in a second. I took that out first. And some paperwork, of course. Ooh, glow light, night light, electroluminescent lamp. These are ads, and this is the manual, which has just been photocopied. And hey, it looks pretty good, actually. Looks like good stuff, and they got plenty of info in there about assembly of the entire vehicle, and just most of it already is assembled, but some of it isn't, so they got instructions in there. And then this is not really going to show up worth a crap on camera, but trust me when I tell you that there is here a body, and it is a McLaren F1, good old classic F1 GT body, like an LM GT. You'll see that once it's all painted up. Obviously it is clear and nearly invisible on camera here with the wide background, and in my hands here is a Lexan wing to go with that. And they did pre-mark the body mount or post holes, and also where an antenna would come through if you still have an old big antenna. So that's nice, everything's all pre-marked, so that helps you to get started. And that brings us to the good stuff right there. That is the vehicle, and that's the state of assembly in which it comes right out of the box. So let's take a look at this on the whole, what all we've got going on here. Pillow ball style suspension up front, and it feels very loose, although not loose in a good way, because there's play right here, there's play up and down. A lot of folks, I'm sure, will notice the cantilever style suspension right from the start, which is really unfortunate that they put this on there, because cantilever style suspension gives you this additional amount of play in there from the extra parts, which is not good. It also raises your center of gravity, which is not good. It also adds total weight, just increases the weight of the vehicle. The only way to get lay down suspension that works is to put the shocks down lower than they normally would be, and there's just no room for that here the way this is set up. So this is a cool looking thing, and a lot of folks that don't know better are you know, look at that and be like, oh, it's like Formula One, that means it'll handle like a Formula One car or like a Revo. No, it's not good, it's bad, but they do include it here. The one good thing about it is that it allows you to have generally they allow you to have lower noses on bodies as opposed to having a shock tower that's going to sit up a little bit more. But moving on from that, back at the rear, we've got a more conventional style of suspension. The shocks are laid down quite significantly, but it is more of a traditional style, and it looks like we've definitely got some roll bar action, some anti-sway action, and yep, we've got the nice little plate style roll bar, and that is, or sway bar, and that is working very, very well. Looks to be pretty decently stiff. You can see the other side is pulling itself up on its own, and these are not preloaded up, the shocks and whatnot. The center diff is non-existent. It uses a center spool for this one. When you're riding or driving on road, you're not going to have a traction problem where you need to spill out some torque to the front wheels. So here they just replaced all that heavy stuff with just a, looks like a two-piece aluminum assembly, which removes a lot of weight, makes it simpler, and just does the job. And you can see my hand through here because they've lightened up this chassis quite a lot. It looks like a 4mm thick chassis, and it is fully machined and actually chamfered along the edges here. There's a little bit of a bevel right there, and these two screws are for adjusting your mesh between your pinion and spur. You can see the motor mount is a very simple piece, one piece, very nice finish on it, machined aluminum. It's got, wow, rounded edges and everything, and it does look like it's set up for, I believe those are those 3mm holes? I can't tell if those are 3 or 4, but I think it's set up for 3mm. But you can actually put 3 of them in there if you have that ability. What else do we have going on here? These chassis braces are plastic, which is less of an issue with an on-road vehicle than with an off-road, buggy. Which this is based on a buggy design, but you don't have nearly as many forces going through the whole thing because you're staying on the ground. Hopefully, you try to stay on the ground all the time, unless you go over a berm accidentally. But I think the plastic should be okay as long as you don't bash the crap out of this. Also, fairly thin for 8th scale, 3mm thick or 1/8 inch thick aluminum. Look like stamped aluminum shock tower is fairly short. Again, not, you're not going to be taking an 8-pound vehicle and launching it and landing it at weird angles, so you don't need as much strength there. This is a cool little feature that's just aesthetic. It's a little diffuser. It's not actually going to do any work, but it looks cool. Just a very, except for the cantilevered setup, it's a pretty straightforward 8th scale, actually simpler than 8th scale configuration, and I'm pretty happy with that. I do like the blade style of sway bars that they used on there. Nice and compact, close in, and kind of stealth almost. It's just a nice little thing. Big old foam bumper in the front, which definitely is important. If you overshoot a turn or you get out of shape and you run into the inside pipe, from the rear end, kind of stepping out on you. So good amount of protection there. Let's see what else. Everything's adjustable, either with the parts that are here or with optional parts in terms of your. Looks like there is absolutely no kick up in the front. That's good. It would be good if there was a little bit of anti-dive. I would expect you to be able to change out these blocks. And I wonder, I don't know for certain, but I wonder if there is an option that would allow you to actually have some anti-dive, but actually the opposite of kick up. For folks that are familiar with off-road vehicles, actually have the rear of the arm, the rear pivot point, be higher than the front. That could be interesting. You can change your caster angle by moving the upper arm back and forth. There are little spacers on here, little clips that'll allow you to change that. Of course, you can change your camber, you can change your toe right here. At the rear, again, you can change your camber. And again, I would assume that there are different toe block options that would, toe block, suspension pivot block options that would allow you to change out your rear toe angle, and hopefully also be able to put in different amounts of anti-squat. Looks like there is a little bit. I don't know if it's an optical illusion here or not. With the chamfered edges of the chassis back here, it might just be an optical illusion. I was thinking that there is a little bit. I do think there is a little bit of anti-squat built into that right now, maybe a degree and a half at most. But I'll have to check into that. I do have a couple different camber length or upper link length options here, as well as a couple of roll center options, and a couple options for mounting your shocks at the top for changing out your progressiveness. Although with as far laid down as these shocks are, that's going to change your droop also. And speaking of droop, I noticed that this does not have, does it have droop screws? It doesn't have droop screws pre-installed, but you should be able to put them into the holes in there. But what I was going to say is that the arms are actually stopped. The droop is actually stopped right now by the chassis itself, the chassis plate. You can see the arm actually hits it right here. We'll have to see how that works out, but once I get the wheels and tires on here, I'll have to see just how far up the ride height will be. That may actually not be an issue at all. It does have an adjustable, nice looking adjustable steering servo saver here, and that coating on there, that is the exact coating that's used on Traxxas big bore shocks. I don't know if they're getting it from the same place, but that is definitely the exact color and texture, something I'm very familiar with, and it's good to see. What else? The shocks themselves are aluminum. They're anodized. They do have threaded bodies on them. They're fairly, obviously these front ones are fairly short. The rear ones look like they could be older buggy fronts. But again, don't quote me on that. I haven't done the research. I'm just looking at it. First impressions, for the whole thing. But I like the layout overall. Nice, fairly, like I said, fairly simple, fairly lightweight. All these open holes will definitely keep the overall weight down for the thing, although the body is going to add a significant amount of weight just in and of itself because it's so large. But a pretty cool setup. That's the OFNA DM-One Spec-E. They did have one version where they went longer with it, where they did a long wheelbase version that you could almost call a 1/7 scale. I think they may have at one point called it a 1/7 scale. But let's see, what else? Not seeing anything else that's too noteworthy. Doesn't use half dog bone, so-called constant velocity angle. There's a little bit of controversy on the forums right now about how these are basically just universal joint. That's just a universal joint. It's not technically constant velocity. It changes slightly throughout its rotation, but it's fairly close, and it's better than having a dog bone system, which slides in and out and will wear out more. Earlier I was talking about being able to change your rear toe, and that was actually dumb, I just noticed, because you've got dual pillow balls right here. You can change your toe right through that, so you don't need to change it inboard. You change it outboard out here. So that is an easy thing to change on this. But This thing obviously will need a little bit more assembly before it is good to go and ready to start driving it. So hopefully we'll be able to get some video of that with possibly a little bit of a surprise for you guys on how that goes down, but we'll have to see how that goes. But for now, that was the unboxing of the OFNA DM-One Spec-E. Thank you for watching. Hope that was interesting for you if you haven't seen this vehicle before, and I'll be talking to you again soon.